everybody. Welcome to episode 117 of 55 and 5, the only game show or show on YouTube. My mustache is confused. I can't deal with this mustache. It's throwing me off, Cary. I gotta shave it.
It's a hot summer night. We're sweating bullets here under the lights. We're a little punch drunk. We're coming to the end of the 55 and 5. We've had a really fun time with this. We're up to card 117.
Card 117.
We thought it was 121, but
nope.
You told me it's 122.
Yep.
So 122. Without further ado, who do we got?
We got a couple repeats and one rookie to end the set. This is one of the repeats. So this is a man we talked about before. We're going to show the crowd this. And a real legend up in Canada. And Cary, interesting to see, though, there's 3 men on the card, including the referee who's getting a little frisky on the man in question.
Yes, it's a hell of a shot.
Yeah.
This definitely trumps the Lord Blear's card for strange activities going on.
Right, why is the referee on his back? That's what I want to know.
Well, Yvon Roberts is like for the first family of great Canadian...
16-time Montreal
Rougeaus,
right. The Whipper Billy Watson,
right.
Yvon Robert.
They were in the... when wrestling was coming on TV and even before that.
Right.
But they were there for the TV boom.
Yep.
And he certainly was a huge star in Montreal.
Absolutely.
And probably more Montreal than Toronto, but you would know the details.
Absolutely. And he benefited too from the original AWA title, which we talked about primarily in Boston, but also made its way to Montreal. That was his first world championship, the Paul Bowser AWA, when he won the championship from Dan O'Mahony. And he did that in 1936, but in 42, his career started at the age of 17 and 33. 1942, he won the NWA World Championship. And he defeated Wild Bill Longson in Montreal, Quebec. And that went along with the 16-time championships in Montreal. He won that title 16 times, would set the record for biggest gate, break the record, set the record, break the record. And his biggest gate was against Gorgeous George in 1948. So George is at the height.
It's interesting because I don't think a lot of people had television sets in 1948.
Not likely.
It was not until... when Uncle Gunny was going door to door was like the early 50s.
Right.
So, but my point is, Gorgeous George, it wasn't like he was a Continental TV star yet, but the name was out there, obviously.
Right. And George, by this point, there's the famous quote we've talked about, Milton Berle and Gorgeous George, the two people that sold more TVs than anybody else. And that quote was from 1947. So obviously TV was heating up. It wasn't as ubiquitous, though. But it certainly helped draw this big gate against Yvon Robert. He had a big team with Whipper Billy Watson. That would be the equivalent of The Rock and Steve Austin teaming up at the same time, or Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. That's the kind of vibe that was happening in Montreal. And ended his career as a partner, Billy Wicks, another big name in the territory. But, he wrestled from 32 on. And this was toward the end of his career, this 55 set. But by then, he was a made man. He was top draw headliner. You put him in there, his name retained value year after year. Kind of like Ric Flair. Ric Flair started his career in 74. Or 73 and just would continue, the late 90s, he was still a massive draw 25 years in. Same thing could be said about Yvon Robert. And his nickname was the Lion. And, it's going to be tough to pull a lion off if you're this referee, which the back of the card, the idol of the French-Canadian mat fans. He's held many titles, including the World Championship, big, rugged, and well-conditioned. Yvon moves with a confidence born of many years. So engaged in top matches with all the greats. And it's finally a card that's not full of baloney on the back of it.
No, it's good. So he's probably, if you had to pick the top 10 guys that deserve, the Canadian wrestling heritage, he's a legit one.
You'd be absolutely right there. Absolutely right. And tomorrow we're going to bring you somebody on the American side. It's a more recent repeat. Had I realized that this man had 2 cards, I would have spread them out a little bit, maybe did one closer to the front end of the 122 and one closer to the back end. Tomorrow, Cary, we're talking about a man we talked about 7 days ago.
That's all right.
So we're going to get through episode 117 here and bring you 118 tomorrow. We want to thank AJ, our producer from Bisson Creative Web Design, Cary for joining us, Captain Lou, Uncle Gunny, and thank you for watching. I'm Ian Riccaboni. Happy wrestling, everybody.